Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm the Mad Catster, and today we're going to talk about James Charles because nobody ever does. But, anyways, I've noticed something about the people on YouTube. Everyone seems to drink an awful lot of tea around here. But we're not going to spill any tea today. We're going to wake up and smell the coffee, and we're going to examine some of the rumors that have been swirling around. We're going to deal with the more recent stuff. I don't want to really delve into the old stuff. It's been hashed to death. It's YouTube is sort of like a pool of piranhas. One drop of blood in the water, and everybody goes into a feeding frenzy and repeats allegations over and over and over again, like they're the gospel truth. What I want to do is examine two of the most recent accusations, which came earlier this year. One from a 16-year-old who is allegedly 16. I say allegedly because I haven't seen his birth certificate. I don't know for sure, other than he says he's 16. We'll take him at his word. And the other is from another young man that I'm not exactly sure how old he is because he has never really quite stated, and the things I've read are a little bit ambiguous. But today we're going to do something I do every day as a lawyer, and that is we're going to look at the evidence. As lawyers, we're taught you always follow the evidence, you examine the evidence, and then you make up your mind about what the truth is. And that's what we're going to do today. We're not going to spread any rumor. Like I said, we're not going to spill any tea. We're going to actually look at the evidence. I also want to start by saying that I'm not a James Charles stan. I'm not a hater either. Until recently, I really hadn't watched much of his stuff. But lately, I have been watching a lot more of his stuff. And from what I see, he seems like a nice guy. He doesn't seem like a monster to me. So why don't we take a look at why people have been talking about him the way they have recently. I'm filming the second part of this video on my phone because my camera for some reason keeps freezing up on me. I don't know why, but let's get into it. So first, let's take a look at the first accuser from earlier this year, who goes by the name of UziJ. He wrote on Twitter back in February claiming that in 2019 he had inappropriate contact with James Charles. And as evidence, he posted a bunch of screenshots, one showing part of a conversation allegedly with James Charles and showing that James Charles allegedly added him as a friend on Snapchat. And I think this is important. This was after UziJ tells James Charles that they should talk on Snapchat because it's quote-unquote safer. However, none of the screenshots that he provided shows anything that I thought was remotely inappropriate. Then UziJ claims on Twitter that James Charles used him for his quote-unquote sexual pleasure, and that UziJ then shows a screenshot of a message he allegedly sent to James Charles telling him to delete his photos and basically telling James Charles goodbye. However, we only see a partial excerpt from this alleged conversation. It's only the part of Uzi telling him to delete his photos. We don't see anything or response from James Charles or any other alleged messages from James Charles. So it's just this one little weird clip. I didn't see any documentation online that Uzi was a minor at this time, and it wasn't really clear what his actual age is. It just appears that he's claiming that James Charles took advantage of him at a point when he was vulnerable. An article was written about UziJ's allegations earlier this year on meaww.com, and the story basically reiterates the information Uzi provided in his posts. From what I read, Uzi claims that James Charles unfriended him and told Uzi that Uzi was quote-unquote overwhelming. It was in response to this unfriending that Uzi allegedly messaged James Charles and told him please delete the photos. It seems that the media just accepted what Uzi had to say at face value and didn't find any kind of verification to back it up. And this then got picked up, of course, on social media and on TikTok. On YouTube, and just fed into this frenzy of cancel James Charles. There also was another article on meaww.com that concerns the alleged 16-year-old who claims that James Charles solicited inappropriate photos of him after he told James Charles he was only 16. Now, James Charles has clapped back and said that this individual told him that he was 18 when they started talking, and that later said that he was only 16, and that James Charles claimed that he then cut off all contact with this person. I didn't see any documentation about showing the actual age of this person. The only thing that I found was a screenshot of this person's TikTok profile that states he's 16, but this isn't really proof of his actual age. It's just proof that he claims to be 16 on his TikTok profile. I'm not saying he wasn't 16 at the time, but I'm just saying I didn't see any documented evidence that shows or proves his age other than that. And that's not, certainly not a government ID. It's not a birth certificate. So I don't know, other than what he's saying, I don't have proof that he's 16. Again, I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that I don't see the evidence. The evidence offered by the second accuser just consists of him claiming that James Charles solicited these photos. The second accuser also posted a couple of video clips. One is kind of strange. It's of him shirtless, apparently in the bathroom. You can hear water running, and he's saying that he is going to open a snap in quote-unquote real time. But this post was apparently made and posted on February 26, 2021, and this was after he had already made accusations against James Charles, and the contact between the two of them had ceased already. So I don't know how it could be real time if it happened after the fact. Also, the video to me looked kind of staged, and he seems awfully nonchalant in it. And what he shows, I wasn't able to make out anything that was inappropriate, or even whether it was actually something coming from James Charles or what it was. It just, to me, there was nothing there. He also posted a short, choppy clip of what he said was someone who was his brother who was making a video to prove the conversation with James Charles or something, but it was really choppy and you really couldn't see anything, and I couldn't make out anything that would qualify as evidence of what he's saying. He also posted on his Twitter account a screenshot with an embedded video clip of something he says is a conversation with his best friend. Now, I've seen some people mistakenly say this was a conversation with James Charles, but not from what I heard or read. It doesn't seem to have anything directly to do with James Charles, and he's very vague in what he's talking about, so it's unclear exactly what this has to do with this. After viewing all of the evidence that I was able to find out there, what these guys posted, what they said, things in social media, I didn't find any actual concrete evidence to back up what either of them is saying. I'm not saying that James Charles is innocent of all of this or that they're lying. I'm just saying that if we evaluate objectively the evidence, I don't see anything that supports the allegations that were made, and certainly nothing that would stand up in a court. Legally, none of this is evidence. It's all circumstantial. It's hearsay. There's nothing that actually concretely proves what they're saying. And so, without more, in my opinion, I don't find anything to back up what these guys are saying. Grooming and predatory conduct are very real. They're pervasive on the internet. It's very serious. It should be taken seriously. People should be punished to the full extent of the law. But also, on the other hand, there has to be evidence. We can't just have a pitchfork and mob mentality where we hear something that someone accuses somebody of, and then we immediately destroy the person that's being accused, and we vilify them, and then we give the accuser instant credibility, even without any kind of evidence to back up what they're saying. And again, I'm not saying that these people are lying. I'm just saying that I don't see the evidence to support what they're saying, and yet people just immediately rush to pile on to the attacks on James Charles. I'm not saying he's innocent either. I mean, he has admitted to doing inappropriate things in the past, but in these two particular instances, I just didn't see the evidence to back it up. In my opinion, there's no definitive proof, and certainly nothing that would stand up in a court of law. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. I hope you found some of this something to think about. I try to present an objective third-party point of view based on evaluation of the evidence in these situations. You know, I am an attorney. This is what I do for work. And again, I'm not passing judgment on anybody. I'm just saying that in my evaluation objectively of the evidence, I didn't see anything to back this up. But again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. You know, I'm just getting started out in this. At some point in the near future, I'm going to make an About Me video where I will introduce you to my 17 rescue cats. And yes, I said 17 rescue cats, which hence the nickname Mad Catster, or as my family likes to call me, the crazy cat lady. But I love my cats. They're like kids to me. They all have sad stories, but they're all very healthy and happy now, and they're like my kids, and you'll get to meet them at some point. But again, thanks for watching, and take care of yourself, and good night.
Pretty please. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell. I get a treat for every new sub. Thank you.